Hi everyone, Unimace here, back for the week 6 update. This week I've hit a big milestone, 100 hours of studying. But don't worry, I didn't grind it out all in one go. Since January 1st I've been on a mission to study, read and improve myself, and every week I share an update with all of you. If you're new here, I post these updates every week covering what I have learned in Japanese, college algebra and computer science, and my newest edition, the Microsoft Security Engineer exam prep. I also cover my reading goals, my weight loss goals, and my fasting goals so you can get the full picture. If you missed any of the previous updates, you can check out the link down in the description where there is a playlist waiting for you that covers all of the previous weeks. In this video, I'll break down what I've studied, the time I spent on studying, the biggest challenges that I faced, and the plan for next week for each of the subjects. Plus, I'll share with you the total study hours, the fitness goal update, and the reading goal update. Without further ado, let's start with the first subject, which was Japanese. This week it was all about lesson 6, which was about expressing wanting and not wanting. I learned how to form sentences using hoshi and hoshi kunai, and also how to make adjectives negative using kunai. I learned about 20 new words and 15 new hiragana, which were ha, hi, fu, he, ho, and their dakuten and handakuten alternatives. In total this week I've spent 5 hours studying Japanese from the Japanese from 01 book, and still the biggest challenge is trying to read text in hiragana. It's slow and I often have to reread the words in order to understand the meaning, but it's a part of the process. A month and a half ago I knew 0 hiragana and I knew 0 words. I've been following the college algebra book, which is this book right here, and I finished 2 sections this week. One section was graphing utilities and the other one was linear and rational equations. I worked through the lecture exercises and I finished all of the 160 practice problems that followed it. In total, I spent 5 hours on math this week. It wasn't that challenging because I remember most of it from high school and college, and this week's lecture was far easier than the previous one, which was factoring polynomials. The plan for next week is to go through the next section, which is model applications, and hopefully I will finish all of the exercises for that section next week. I'm still working through CS50's Introduction to Computer Science, and I finished week 6, which was Python and AI. And the assignments weren't that difficult because most of it was rewriting old C code now into Python. And the only new challenge that was there was the DNA matching algorithm. Wasn't that hard, but it was cool to see how exactly DNA matching works. And in total, I've spent on all of this 5 hours this week. And the plan for next week is to go through week 7, which is all about SQL. I finished the exam reference book and moved on to the Microsoft Learn resources for the AZ500 certification. I spent only 3 hours on this because it's mostly reinforcing what I already know before I schedule the exam. I think it will be probably at the start of the next month. In total, I've studied 18 hours this week, which brings my total since January 1st to 110 hours. That's about it. Let's move on to fitness. My fitness goals are simple: fast for 16 hours and stay within my calorie limit. And this week I fasted for 103 hours and lost 1.5 kilograms. All in all, since January 1st, I fasted for 717 hours and I've lost 6.8 kilograms. Not bad at all, really. And that's it. Let's move on to the next chapter, which is books. Okay, for the books, or should I say the book, I was reading The Shining this week and I spent 6 hours on it. I still didn't finish it. I have about 1/3 left, or around 200 pages. And the plan for next week is to read through The Shining and then move on to Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to this book. And that's a wrap for week 6. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I post these updates every week, so if you want to follow along, you can subscribe. The next update is scheduled for February 24th, and if you don't see a video then, well, it means I failed. Until then, keep learning, stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next one.